Have you been to an event like this before?
I actually was here last year, and it didn't seem quite as large as last year, so it's good. It's good to see that it's, you know, gaining popularity.
Do you enjoy this whole process of getting to meet the fans face to face?
I do. You know, you work really hard, and you hope people like what you're gonna make, and then to have the kind of response that we get when we get to come here it's part of the job. You know, it's part of my job to meet everybody, and at the same time, it helps my ego.
There's some great characters in Warehouse 13. If you weren't obviously playing your character, ignoring me, if you could play a female character, would you play any of the other characters?
I would be Claudia, I think.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be hot and young. Hot and young.
Yeah, in there.
I know, right?
And what would you say was the big break for you getting into acting? What pushed your career ahead, do you feel?
I mean, I had been fired from every other job I ever had, and I moved to LA to sell corporate insurance, excuse me, for my uncle. And he fired me after 7 months, and then I was a PA, and I got fired from a few of those jobs. I wrecked a couple of production trucks, and that was a mess. You know, and I just figured I got to the point where acting was something I always wanted to do. I just never thought that it was a reality, you know. I mean, I was just a kid from Ohio, and you know, my big break came, I guess, when I did my first national spot. I did a national beer commercial for Coors Light, and back then the paychecks were pretty good for a national commercial, and the money from that commercial made it possible for me to get into class, and that's when for the first time in my life since I had been playing sports, I was focused on something, and I actually was willing to do whatever it took to achieve my goals in that area. So
a lot of actors seem to be going behind the camera on TV shows at the moment. Is there any attempt for you to do that?
I was thinking about it until I watched Jack direct the last episode of you know, at like hour 19 on a Friday at like 7 in the morning, Jack looked at me and said, "So you want to direct?" It's a lot of work. You know, I wouldn't want to be just like a figurehead director who just yelled action and cut. You know, I want to know about the angles. I still don't understand how you go, okay, this is camera left, and when you turn around, it's camera right, and I don't get all that yet. So I think that's, until I learn those finer points of directing, I probably won't go I won't go near that end of the building.
A lot of actors come over to the UK to do things like West End plays and everything. Is there any attempt? Obviously, you're too busy on the show, I'd imagine, but any
I would love
for
to
that?
do a play. I've never been in a play before, so I kind of consider myself a bit of a poser when it comes to the true art of acting, because I think until you've done a play, like I think that's when you really have kind of accomplished something. So.